Hey everybody, welcome back to another episode of Myne Nyte. Today we are going to be interviewing the man who saves just about everyone from fires to hospitals to you know what. It's Jsano! Welcome him to the stage!
Hey everybody!
Hey, oh god, I'm sorry for hitting you, I was trying to wave. Hey! Woo! Welcome, welcome. So, how have you been? How were your holidays?
Holidays were pretty good. Went back to the great old state of Michigan.
Mm-hmm.
A lot of snowboarding.
A lot of snowboard. Do you snowboard often?
I try to. I'm actually a ski patroller in Michigan, so.
Man, you do so much.
So I was out there. I was out there saving lives on the ski hill. I don't really know if you save lives in the ski hills in Michigan, but I mean, you make sure that they're protected.
So as per usual, we will be asking you how you got your name, even though it's kind of self-explanatory, I think. But there are maybe some people who don't know. And along with that, why don't you introduce yourself for people who might not know who you are?
So for those who don't know me, I am Jsano19. I am a member of the Mindcrack Server. Actually, one of the original members of the Mindcrack Server, amazingly, though I'm less known at the beginning of the time frame. But I was on there with Good when he first started up his Survivor multiplayer, his first series of that. I am a nurse by trade, I guess now, former computer engineer, former IT guy, as well as a volunteer firefighter, EMT, and ski patroller. The name, you want me to explain the name? I mean, the obvious part's the 19, where that came from. So let's take the rest of it. And like the J, I really thought long and hard about where I could get the J from. Mm-hmm. And I figured, you know, J was just a cool looking letter, has a hook on it. And, you know, it's also my first name. My first name is Jeff, so I go, or it's now, so it's not my first name. It starts my first name, but Jsano comes from my name itself. 19 was actually randomly a letter or a number that I used because in 8th grade, when I played 8th grade football, man, I'm a big crazy man. My number was 19. So my first AOL screen name ever was Jsano19, and that's just the name I've used ever since.
You stuck with it that long?
Stuck with it that long.
Wow, impressive.
You find a good one, you keep it. And nobody else ever has Jsano19.
So then that brings me to the next question. If 19 is that significant, what is the significance of the 5, not an S, on your back?
The significance of the 5, for those who don't know, this is a 5. I'm pointing behind me as well, so I hope you guys can see my feet and everything pointing behind me. This is a 5. My fire station that I'm at out here in Montgomery County, Maryland, is Station 5. Mm-hmm. So the 5 is just representing me in a firefighter uniform for Station 5.
Ah, very cool, very cool.
Everybody thinks it's an S because it kind of looks like an S because 5s look similar to S's, and Jsano. They all put it together in a suit.
So, I've got a question, actually. How do you have time to record with all the different things that you're doing? Well, like all the volunteer work and, you know, working as a nurse and I don't know, you do so much.
If you notice, compared to many people, especially many Mindcrackers, I record much less than they all do, and that is the reason. It's because, you know, I do a lot of things. I do a lot of things, so therefore my time is much more limited than a lot of people who, you know, are able to spend a lot more, you know, time doing the recordings. But I try my hardest, and I try my hardest to do a lot of recordings as much as I can because I enjoy doing it. It's a passion of mine. So you'll still make the things that you want to happen, you will make them happen. So I just find time to make sure I can, you know, make some videos, try to make them as quality videos as possible because I can put out garbage every single day. I try to make sure that they have some quality to them as well. Not always. I'm not saying every one of my videos is pure quality, but you know, it's difficult, but make it work.
So now let's go back, talk some history. How did you get involved? Like, how did you end up getting invited to the Mindcrack server?
I got invited to the Mindcrack server. Wow. So back when I started getting into Minecraft, one of the people I was watching at the time was Good, and Good's channel was extremely, I think he only had he had less than 100 subscribers when I started looking at his channel. And I realized that Good and I were around the same age. His stories were, I can't say they're all similar, you know, they were similar to mine because he has a lot different experience, but his personality and the way he told the stories were very similar to my like personalities and experiences and things like that. So really started to follow him. And when I started to put my videos out there, when I probably had less than 30 subscribers, he actually subscribed to my channel as well and started talking to me. So we would talk every so often back and forth in comments and things like that. And so we kind of got to know each other little by little through that. And then he invited me to join the server because, you know, we had kind of gotten to know each other a little bit through everything. And that's kind of the history behind that.
Oh, very cool. Very cool. And do you ever wish you could get him back for that gravel prank, like in a big way?
I do. I do. Now it's so much harder because he's not on the server nearly as much anymore. So it's difficult, but man.
Well, wouldn't that make it easier because he's not on, so you have time to work?
Well, it would give me time to work, but then toward what? I don't know what I would be like. I like to watch people when I'm going to plan a major prank. I like to really watch people and see what it is that's really going to get them and make them laugh and make them think something's hilarious. Because you don't try to do things that are just malicious, you know? You just try to do things that are fun. And man, that gravel prank though, I had for those, I don't know if you guys watched that stuff way back when, but I'd caught wind somewhere that he was planning something. Something major was being planned. And I tore up the landscape around my house one day looking for where he would have like hidden all this stuff. And he said when he found out I was doing that, he was so afraid because I was apparently just a couple blocks away from the chest that had all the gravel he had been collecting, like put it in a mountain like next to my base. But I mean, it was just, it was a beautiful prank, and I left it up for so long because I thought it was so cool. I mean, it like fossilized my house.
Now, here's something I was wondering. It's from that very same video, actually. Did you expect worse when you set the wool on fire, or did you think it was just
I expected something major. I didn't expect that at all. I had actually thought that he had basically just built a black room around my house that it would spawn a bunch of mobs. Is what I kind of assumed it was, and I thought when I burned the wool down, like something else was going to happen with more mobs or something like that. I was not expecting just hundreds and hundreds of blocks of gravel to come falling down on everything. Though I don't know if you guys know, but if I recall correctly, Vintage Beef, he got on the server for making a museum dedication to Good. He did like a whole museum of Good during one of Good's contests, and one of the big things he put on there was a mini replica of the gravel prank. So yeah, I did not expect that at all to be what it was.
Wow. Well, besides that, let's talk about some non-Minecraft stuff too. How did you get into volunteering?
Well, I've been on the ski patrol since I was 16. I got into that because my father was on the ski patrol as well. And he started 10 years before I did. So I started like on his 10-year anniversary was my first year on the patrol, but I was only 16 at the time. So I was young when I started doing that. I really enjoyed doing that. When I moved out, that was in Michigan. So I moved out to Washington, D.C. to go to nursing school. And that whole piece of me was gone because I didn't live in the state anymore. So from there, I was kind of like, okay, what else can I do to donate some of my time or to do something like that? And coincidentally, I was a student council representative for my nursing class. And part of the student council, we set up the career fair. And at the career fair, my station had a representative there trying to recruit volunteers for the station, because in actual DC, they don't do volunteer. It's only career people in DC. So just outside of the city, you have to go if you want to volunteer. And they had one of the representatives for my station. So I filled out the paperwork and kind of went from there.
Wow, very cool. What about volunteering at the fire department? Or is that part of the ski
that's
patrol?
what the ski patrol started when I was 16. I did that because of my dad, originally, which I will say now it's funny because I started, as I said, 10 years after my dad did on his 10-year anniversary. My mother joined the patrol on my 10-year anniversary. Oh, nice. So now there's 3 of us on the patrol together with like a 20-year span between them. And I'm the one in the middle.
Nice. So, what really drove you or made you decide you wanted to help people?
Yeah. You mean career-wise or in general? Because it's interesting. I was
a little bit of both.
Part of the reason I wanted to drive to help people was because I'd seen my dad do it so much. My dad was a police officer. My mother was a nurse. And when my dad joined the ski patrol and everything, and, I saw, not just the fact that he was helping people, but the fun he was having with the people on the patrol and things like that, and that he enjoyed doing what he did, I started to get into that a little bit with joining the patrol myself. I then proceeded to get a computer engineering degree, and then proceeded to get a master's degree in IT, worked that for a while, and knew that I did not like sitting in an office. I hated sitting in an office all day. Like, I love doing stuff with computers, but I don't love doing what you're telling me to do on the computers. I'll sit at home all day, and I can I'll program a website, I'll play video games, I'll do what I want to do. But when I'm doing filling out these spreadsheets for budget, because that's what needs to be done, I get really, really bored. And I turned to looking at either med school or nursing school because I knew I really enjoyed the stuff I did on the patrol and the first aid and the situations like that and helping people in that sense. So that's why I turned into a medical profession from a computer background. But it all kind of stemmed from the ski patrol, which stemmed from, seeing my parents be in those types of roles when I was younger.
Very cool. Very cool. Have you seen the IT stuff roll over at all into the medical field?
Considering that currently I am in what's called, I recently got my second master's degree in nursing informatics, which is the IT of the nursing field. And I've actually been in nursing informatics for the past year. So I was an emergency department nurse, then I was an ICU nurse. I've been in nursing informatics for the past year because of how much IT world has rolled over to medical. Like, we just implemented a whole electronic health record system. But I'm actually going back to the bedside next month, on February 10th, actually. I just signed my paperwork today. I'm going back to the bedside next month because I didn't want to be in this role anymore because I only did it because I knew I had the technical expertise and I'm from that hospital and I helped design it when I was in the emergency department. So I wanted to help the implementation and then go back to the bedside. So that's what I'm going to do.
All right. Very interesting, actually. I didn't know.
Yeah, I left that field for a reason. I didn't want to get back to it. I only did to help out as much as I could, and now I'm ready to go.
So, what do you like to do in your free time?
Free time?
If you have some, other than
I don't understand that term. Free time.
Free time.
I don't. I mean, a lot of my free time is spent making videos and things like that, and trying to do things for the channel. That's kind of my enjoyment of my free time. I mean, on top of that, I enjoy, watching football. I love watching football. Lions, go Lions! They suck this year. But I love watching football. I was really big at going out to in Michigan. A lot of bars I would go to a lot because they were relaxing sports bar type places. You sit down at a table with a group of people, you eat some food, you drink a couple beers, you have conversation. I actually hate going out to the bars here in DC because they're all clubs, and I hate clubs. And they're so expensive. I can't dance.
Well, you just gotta wiggle.
I'm like, yeah, baby. Shake it. So, I mean, a lot of it's really computer work.
Well,
oh yeah, see, I got some dancing going on in the crowd now. Woo!
So you mentioned that you live in DC now?
Correct.
Correct. How long have you since the move?
5 years.
5 years. Wow.
5 years.
Do you like it better than
No.
No?
DC's got its positives about it for sure. It's a city that's huge on public transportation. You don't have to drive anywhere if you don't want to. Everything's convenient. You can, like, where I live now, I can walk to anything I need to get to besides my work. Yeah. I still have to drive to my work, but which is still not far. Things I dislike about DC, when you do drive, traffic is ridiculous. It is so ridiculously expensive to live here. I get paid a lot more here than I did in Michigan, and it looks awesome on paper. And then when you realize how much you're spending to live, I'm actually making less money than I was. Man. So it's like, you know, it's a back and forth. It's so expensive out here. A lot of people can be... Everybody's in a hurry all the time. I guess is one way to put it. It's like everybody's rush because they think they're more important than everybody else. But I mean, I guess the same can be said for many big cities anyway. So this is just the only big city I've ever lived in, you know, because I lived in, I lived on a dirt road in, you know, some small town in Michigan. So it's a whole different experience, that's for sure. That's
cool. Well, when you were in Michigan, I'm assuming you grew up in Michigan, right? Do you have any funny stories from your childhood, maybe, or something?
Any funny stories?
Yeah,
that's
funny or embarrassing, maybe. I don't know.
I mean, I got lots of funny and embarrassing stories. I'd have to, you got to watch my channel. You'll see me talking about them all. Thinking about any off the top of my head, what can I go with from my childhood? Oh man, I was not coming in here expecting to think of something like this. I mean, that's not really that funny. I was in a fraternity house. I joined a fraternity house when I was actually a junior in college instead of the normal person who would join as a freshman. So I have a lot of, I can't necessarily say funny stories, but experiences from that. Not sure how air friendly they are, or interview friendly they are. Some of my college experiences though were like some of the dumb things that we used to do. Yeah. Buddy of mine and I both had Jeep Wranglers. So one day I can't say one day, for a long time they were tearing up the parking lot behind our dorm because they were ripping out the ground in order to build a new building back there. And basically there was just these huge mud piles in this whole area, just this whole disgusting like dirt field while they were doing all this stuff. And then we got like massive rainstorms or something like that going on. We decided to get a bunch of people in our Jeeps and just go basically mud bogging through this area. I mean, it's connected to the school. It's on school property. And my college was very, very small. So everybody's looking out their dorm window, just watching these Jeeps go like flying through these mud piles, just making a mess of everything. I end up getting my Jeep stuck. We cannot get it out for the life of us. It's so dark at this point as well. So we go inside for the night. Next morning, we come back out there in order to get the Jeep out. The other Jeep comes in, hooks me up, winches me. It takes us like an hour and a half to winch my Jeep out of this like mud hole that I got it stuck in. I mean, that's only 100 feet maybe off of the parking lot. Like, very obvious that I'm stuck out here. We sit there. My Jeep is so covered with mud from head to toe. We pull it out. We stop in the parking lot. People keep driving in the parking lot, and they're looking at us, and they're like, holy crap, what'd you do? We're just talking to people. Out of nowhere, this security guard car, because we didn't have a police force there. We had the security people. This security guard comes flying up in his car with his lights, his little fake blue lights, because they're not real, like, police car lights. Comes flying up. Gets out and just starts screaming, and we're looking at him and we're like, what is going on? And he's like, he starts yelling at us about how we can't be doing that. He should be like, he's going to call the police on us right now. They're going to have to write his tickets and all this stuff. And we're just kind of looking at him for a minute because we didn't understand what he was mad at, because we'd been out there since the night before.
Yeah.
And it is now like 3 o'clock in the afternoon. You know, we'd been out again for many, many hours. And he makes some comment about seeing us on the camera. So he came out there to basically, you know, tell us how wrong it was that we were doing. And he was going to call the police. We're just like looking at him like, what are you doing? Like, we've been out here for hours. If you saw us on the cameras, you would have seen us many, many, many hours ago. I don't understand what the problem is here, but they were definitely not pleased with what we had done, and we just kind of left and ignored it and never went back again to talk to them about anything that had happened. I don't know. It's like, it's not really that funny of a story, but it was one I was thinking of that I don't think I told on my channel yet before.
That's very interesting, actually. So, would you have considered yourself kind of a troublemaker when you were younger? Maybe. A
little bit. Not horrible. Not horrible. I mean, I've done stupid things before in the past. That's for sure. Usually, the trouble wasn't coming from what I was doing per se. We would do stupid things, but stupid things like I just described, I really don't look at as in like that's somebody being a troublemaker. I did know some people that were. I mean, I grew up in downtown. I didn't grow up. I grew up just outside of Flint, and I went to school in downtown Flint, Michigan. So if anybody knows about Flint, Michigan, it's not the nicest neighborhood in the world. So I've been in many situations where there were troublemakers at hand, but usually those troublemakers involved guns and knives and things like that. So you kind of try to stay out of that, because so no, I wasn't horrible. Like I said, lots of stupid things that I did. You caused a lot of damage to vehicles doing stupid things, like, you know, driving in certain areas such as big mud holes and things like that you shouldn't be in, kind of, you know, break the windshield by hitting something on accident with it, but not like other cars, but I mean just doing stupid things with them.
Now, I have another question that's it's derived from a Reddit user named QTree, and they were wondering, since you're practically almost done with that adventure map Titan.
Go on.
Yes. Do you plan on doing any new collaborations with some of the Mindcrack guys, or just, you know, some other YouTubers in general?
I would love to, especially with some of the Mindcrack guys. A lot of people's biggest complaints about my channel is that I don't do enough collabs with the Mindcrack people. Part of the reason that I don't do the collabs with them has nothing to do with people not liking each other. It has to do with my schedule is very hard to work around doing a collab with. I mean, you got to set aside time that everybody's free, or that the parties involved are free to be able to do it, and with a schedule like mine, it's very difficult to do. So nobody wants to ever commit that ability of maybe we can do it this week, maybe we can do it on this day, you know, type of deal. I got very lucky doing the Titan with Fedrin because of the time frame. I knew that would work out for the next couple months. When I did my Inferno Mines map with Good, it was the same situation, as I knew that particular night at that time was going to work out for the next about 3 months or so. I knew it was going to be a good time to do it, but you can never plan, especially now that I'm going back to the bedside. It's going to be really hard to plan a collab with somebody unless it's short.
Are you going to be on call?
No, I will not be on call, but the problem is a nursing schedule is days, nights, weekends. It's always random. It's not Monday through Friday. I don't have weekends off anymore.
I see. So, then, in that case, let me look through these index cards right here. Would you like one? Let's see.
Sure.
Oh, there it is. Oh, I'm lagging a little. Okay. So, I was wondering, now that you've, I mean, maybe the previous question answered this, actually. But now that you've met the other Mindcrack guys in person, are there times when you meet with them in person outside of Minecon? I mean, I don't know if you live
the
that far from each other.
I live relatively far away from most of them. I met up with, so I met a couple of them at PAX. I met up with Good and Badge in DC because they were actually coincidentally in DC like 6 or 8 months ago, something like that. So we met up then. But other than that, no, I haven't met up with any of them outside of conventions and things like that. But hopefully that will be changing in the future. There's some plans in the works that maybe we're going to try to schedule some type of, just Mindcrack getaway so that we can actually go hang out without there being a convention involved. Because when we get the conventions, everybody's always busy, especially at Minecon. I was lucky enough that my lines for signatures would die down after a little bit. So I could go walk in and go check out the convention, this and that.
Yeah.
I mean, you got people like, B-Dubs and Good and, Zisto and all them. They never stopped signing autographs. They didn't move from a spot that they picked in the hallway because their line never went away. So it's very frustrating not frustrating in a bad way, but frustrating that they can't hang out more with people that they wanted to actually hang out with because we're there for a convention. Yeah. So we're hoping to try to get something planned in the future where we can actually go have a, actually a fun time, relax together without a convention to worry about.
Yeah, that'd actually be really cool.
Yeah. Who knows if that's ever going to be able to get planned with everybody's schedules, but it's a pipe dream. So what about you? How long have you had this server running for?
Oh, it's actually been it's been alive or in existence longer than it has been in use. Because
I see a lot of people on it right now. I mean, is this your normal type of server load?
Well, no, actually, lots of these people are just here to see you. We've invited them onto the server just so that they could come. Yeah, and they're watching on stream right now.
It looks like one of your cameramen, and somebody I think in the audience. No, both of your cameramen. Fargo Girl. Well, there's 3 of them, but I'm specifically talking to Fargo Craft and Sky 8. What's going on with your kill count, man, or your death count?
That
is so supremely high compared to everybody else.
Well, that's not a traditional kill count, actually. That's how many chickens we've killed.
Oh. You guys are the providers, so that means what's going on with everybody else? Why aren't you guys not providing for the server?
I don't know, man. Just slacking off. But actually,
is that really? It's really a chicken?
Yeah, it's a chicken kill counter. Because we've had our server be shut down, like it just crashed the world map because someone
too many
made
chickens.
An infinite chicken spawner. So ever since then, we've just had problems with chickens. Every time there's too many chickens on the server, something goes wrong.
Oh, look at that, Tim. Yeah, the highest kill count before they changed it. Huh? Oh, the highest death count, like the actual death counter. Huh?
Yeah. I know in our first interview, we even had a chicken walk up on stage, and it was just like, oh. But, so, do you have any future plans for that building that you're making on Mindcrack right now?
So I was talking to somebody about this yesterday, and it's kind of funny how my style hasn't necessarily changed since I started it, because when I first started playing this stuff and doing my YouTube channel, Minecraft was like the thing. It was like the only thing I did. Yeah. I remember the first time I branched out and did a different video, and I felt so weird about doing something that wasn't Minecraft and posting it on my channel. The one thing that I found difficult when I started doing other videos is when I do other videos, I usually stick to, like when I do my Spelunky runs and things like that, I'm talking about the game. I'm having a good time playing the game, talking about the game. And when I do Minecraft, I actually focus more on, it's almost like my vlog. I focus more on telling stories and just having a good time, because I think people get a kick out of things or venting about something or ranting about something. And that's one thing I really enjoy about Minecraft. But the thing is, it doesn't give me the ability to concentrate on doing other things. And unfortunately, especially now that I'm working, the last year I've been working a Monday through Friday schedule. So granted, it doesn't sound like much to most people, but I'm working 5 days a week, as well as still doing the volunteering and all that. And I was still working, or still going to school to finish my master's degree up until March of last year. So, I mean, that doesn't explain the last 7 months. But before that, it was, Or it doesn't play in the last 9 months, I guess. But before that, it doesn't do it. But I don't have much time to get on to gather the resources that are needed off camera that I need to finish my projects. Like, and that's the issue with it. Is like when I get on, I have a story I want to tell, so I want to start telling it right now. So I start telling my story and doing a little bit of work that I can do, and then I move on to try to start gathering resources for a little bit, and then I'm like, oh, Spelunky Daily Challenge is up. I want to go play the Spelunky Daily Challenge. I lose track of being able to get the required resources. So yes, there are plans for it, but I just don't know how quickly they're going to come. And for a lot of people, they're very upset that I'm not making more progress. But it's because I use Minecraft as more of my vlog as opposed to my staple of my channel anymore. I mean, they are always the highest viewed videos on my channel, but I think part of that is not just because it's Minecraft, it's because it is story time. Like, some people enjoy listening to those stories.
Yeah. So, since you have recently branched out, do you have a game that you consider your favorite right now?
Right now, it's Spelunky, no questions. I actually just purchased today, actually, because I really want to play The Binding of Isaac. So I think I'm going to start playing that one. I'm really getting a lot more into the roguelikes, like the very simple, quick games. And what I like about them is Spelunky was luckily able to add the daily challenge, which started just friendly competition. Like, I've never been, like, Packrat and I have never really talked to each other that much outside of Minecraft until we started doing the Spelunky Daily Challenge. Yeah. And we'll now comment on each other's videos and we talk about it and we watch each other's Spelunky Daily Challenges and try to beat each other. You know, Fedrin, of course, is the one that started the challenge part of it between her and I. But I think it's so fun to get that friendly competition into something, as well as just to have a game where I can sit down and play for a half an hour, and I'm not trying to accomplish a big major task. If you die, you start over, you do it again. If you're done with the game, you're done with the game. Like, that's all there is to it. Like, once you die, you don't go back to that save point because there's no save point.
Yeah.
So I enjoy that type of game for the reason of just quick, fun, enjoyable, friendly competition type of deal.
Very cool, very cool. Have you checked out any of the indie roguelikes on like Steam Greenlight or anything like that?
A couple of them I have seen. I have oh god, I can't remember what it's called. Something Rain. Something Risk of Rain. What's it?
Oh yeah, Risk of Rain. Risk of Rain.
Risk of Rain. Yeah, that's it. I haven't had the chance to actually play it yet. I have it. I was gifted to me by somebody who said I would enjoy it because of what it is, and I'm just waiting to get the chance to play it.
Do you play any games just for fun, or do you always make sure you record?
I play a lot of Spelunky that is not recorded. So that, but other than that, no. I don't actually sit down and play many games that I don't record. I think the last one that I played through that I didn't record was I was a huge King's Quest fan when I was young. It's what actually I learned to read because of games like that. And the Silver Lining is a set of games that came out as from fans created the next chapters of the King's Quest game. Really? And the last one that came out, it was probably still like a year and a half ago, but I didn't play it for, right when it came out. Started playing it afterwards for a while, so I played that one through. But it's a game that I don't think, for one, that people would enjoy watching at all because it's thinking a lot. It's me watching a storyline, aimlessly wandering around to try to actually finish the quest at hand. So I played that one all the way through. I'm trying to think if I played anything else recently. I don't think I played anything else recently. Like I don't even think my Xbox is plugged in at all. My Xbox 360, I know for a fact, is not plugged in. My my other Xbox next to me, and yeah, I don't think I've played anything else in a long time.
So, I'm trying to think of questions that aren't already answered by previous things that you've said already.
I'm very long-winded and talk about many.
No, it's very good and very informational. But let's see. I've got another one from a Reddit user. It's kind of a funny question actually, but they want to know Pyro Pack Rat, interesting name.
Pyro Pack Rat, wait, that's their name?
Yeah, that's their name.
Pyro Pack Rat? Pyro Pack Rat asking Jsano a question.
What is your favorite food to eat for dinner?
Steak.
Steak? How do you like your steak? How do you like your steak done?
Rare.
Rare?
Rare. I'll usually order it medium rare at places because when you tell them rare, they make it like cold, completely cold. Medium rare usually is exactly where I want to cook, but when I'm cooking it on the grill myself, man, rare.
Nice, nice. Have you ever tried bison meat?
I've theoretically had bison burger before, but I'm not sure if it was truly bison burger or not. I mean, it was at a restaurant. I didn't actually buy any. Oh, no, I take that back. I bought some at Easter Market over the summer. So I would guess that that's actually bison meat. So yes, I have.
Do you like it? I think it's delicious.
Delicious. I love any. I mean, any red meat is so good to me. And it's funny, I'm dating my girlfriend. She does not eat red meat. Well, really? She didn't eat red meat when we met. A couple times I made some steak and kind of got her going, oh, that's actually really good. So she eats some now, but not nearly as much as I would like to, which usually means like she's a really good cook as well. So she cooks a lot of meals, but they're usually not involving red meat. So she makes really good chicken and things like that. Which is unfortunate. I mean, it's fortunate but it's unfortunate that she doesn't eat as much red meat as I want. I'm also, when I'm cooking for myself, man, I'm like a bachelor cooking mentality, like still a college cooking mentality. I love me some mac and cheese out of the box. Everybody thinks it's like disgusting and gross. I think it tastes great. I love ramen noodles. I think they're delicious. Oh yeah, they're not great. There's such a high sodium content, but I think they taste awesome.
Have you ever put an egg in instant noodles?
In ramen?
Yeah.
Oh, it's so good. Egg and hot sauce.
Yes.
Egg in there. Cover it with hot sauce. Oh, it's so good.
Amazing.
Mac and cheese. The best thing to do with that. Cut up some hot dogs. Throw hot dogs in there. It will change your life. I'm telling you. Change your life. So good. So quick and easy. Trying to think what else I eat ridiculously like that people always make fun of me for. I used to make a lot of grilled cheese and tomato soup. I love grilled cheese and tomato soup. And if you're making grilled cheese, tell everybody, I'm staring at each one of you in the eyes right now in the audience, because this will also change your life even more than the hot dogs and mac and cheese. If you're making grilled cheese, when you butter the bread, sprinkle garlic salt on it and then throw it in the pan. It is delicious. Garlic salt makes it so much better.
You should start a new show, Cooking with Jsano.
And I love gyros. Gyros, and they're pronounced gyros, by the way. Gyros, I love them. They're delicious.
Gyros, like,
do you have any idea what I'm talking about?
Europeans?
Yes,
you love the Europeans.
Europeans. No. Gyros. You probably call them gyros.
Oh, yeah. They're pronounced Euros?
They're pronounced multiple different ways. Euro, gyro, hero, whatever you want to say. But I personally want to believe that the proper pronunciation is gyro, because I think it sounds cool. But they're delicious. I love me some fake lamb meat mixed with whatever it's mixed with. And tzatziki sauce. Oh, this back to funny story. I can tell you a funny story about food. I went to not an empanada place. I don't think it's an empanada place. I don't remember what the heck they're called. But you basically go to this place and you get a pita and you get a choice of meat and they put it in there. And then you walk it up to this bar of lettuce and shredded cabbage and like all these different toppings that you can stuff in as much as you want into this sandwich. So I filled this thing like to the brim. It was like meatballs of some type. I don't know what it was. I can't remember what meat it was in there, but put the meatballs in. I shoved so much stuff in there. And at the end, I'm about to walk away, and I see that there's like banana peppers, like full banana peppers at the end of the bar. And I was like, oh, I need some of these too. So I stuffed all these banana peppers in the top of it. So as many as I could just fit in there. And I was with a friend of mine that I work with, and we walked outside, and we literally just sat down on a curb somewhere because we were going to eat, and we were going to go somewhere. I don't know if we were going shopping or what the heck we were doing. So I sat down, I put the thing up, and I was barely holding it together, and I bit the corner of it and I swear to God, I bit into one of these banana peppers. It shot juice straight into my eye. It exploded and just went straight into my eye. And I sat there on the curb, and she kept asking me the whole time, "Are you okay?" Because I was like I was basically crying, like tears running down my face. My nose was running so much. It was like wouldn't stop, and it was just like it hurt so bad, and I just kept eating because I was like, "This is so good." And I had to steal all her napkins because I was just drooling everywhere.
Wow, you really pushed through.
I gotta push through for good food.
So you really like spicy food then?
Yes, definitely.
Have you ever tried one of those ghost peppers?
So here's my deal with spicy food. I will try any of those peppers, like on a dare or whatever, to know if they're spicy, whatever, like for my own personal like knowledge. But when I say I like spicy food, I like spicy food that tastes good. I like heat. I don't like spice that's just spicy, that just burns. I don't like that. I don't think that that's anything that somebody really made because somebody enjoys it. They're making it because there's people like college kids out there daring each other to, you know, to eat that stuff. I want to finish, like if I go get a bowl of pho, or I think it's pronounced pho. I know I pronounced that one. I put so much like sriracha sauce and stuff in there that it gets really, really spicy. Most people around me can't eat it. I think it's good because it's a good flavored hot sauce. But I think it's the best right when my eyes are watering a little bit and my nose starts running just a little bit. That's the perfect amount of heat. When it's just the fact that you can't feel your tongue anymore, I mean, it's pointless.
Yeah.
So no, I've never actually had a ghost pepper. I've had habaneros before, and they were just ridiculous. I went to a wing place once that had a wing called the Flatliner, and if you could eat 10 of them, you got your name on a plaque, like a legitimate plaque on the wall. And I ordered one because I said I just want to try one of these. So they brought one out to the table in a little dish. You have to sign a waiver to be able to even sample this stuff. I dipped my finger in the sauce it came in and touched it to my tongue because I was wondering what I was about to be in for. And I swear to God, I couldn't see for the rest of the evening. Like, that's all I ate of because it instantly just, my whole face burned and turned pure red. It was just ridiculous. Wow. It was nothing that anybody wants to eat. Yeah. It's just there to make you do it, to say you did it.
That's pretty extreme. Yeah, that's something I'd never do either. Although I did take one of those challenges once. But that was a bad time. A very bad time.
What'd you eat? The ghost pepper?
I don't know what was in it. There's this ramen place in LA because that's where we're from, Los Angeles, and they had a challenge like that. It was just called the zero ramen or something, and it's just pure red, almost black when it's served to you, and it's yeah, it's filled with all sorts of peppers. It's a lot that I couldn't even recognize. And you have to like down the broth and the noodles in order to finish the challenge.
Did you finish?
Oh no, I got halfway through and then I swear I started to hallucinate or something. I could feel the sunlight in my hands like it was Jello.
All I can ever think of people talk about this stuff is that Simpsons episode. Have you seen that one?
Oh yeah.
So what did I do? Why am I hallucinating? Went to the chili cook-off, got in a fight with Marge, ate Guatemalan insanity pepper. Oh.
But yeah, that stuff gets crazy.
And the problem is, as bad as it hurts going in, it does hurt coming out. Don't let anybody.
Oh yeah, it does.
You ain't done when you're done.
Oh yeah, you gotta live through that ring of fire.
Yep.
So, do you have any pets?
No, not here in DC. Back in Michigan, my parents still have a dog that I had like basically since I was in early high school. So she's getting kind of old. I grew up with pets. I grew up with chickens and ducks. So we had farm fresh eggs every day. We had dogs and cats. two of each for most of my childhood out here in DC. I think it's cruel to most of the people out here who have dogs, and most of the people out here have dogs, and it is extremely cruel. There's nowhere for them to run around outside. Don't do that to your dogs.
So what was it like living with a bunch of like little animals to play with or just feed or whatever?
Oh, I mean, I love animals. I do have allergies too, which is crazy. So it was. I got used to it when I was living there, and then when I went off to college, when I would come back for like a weekend, I could tell that there were animals there because I would be like sniffly all and sneezing all weekend. But I love animals. I still love my dog that's back at home. I miss Darby.
Oh. If you got a bigger place, would you get a pet?
If I got a bigger place, I might get it. It's not the size. I would get a cat now, only because cats are self-sufficient. You can leave a cat inside and it's fine. It doesn't need to go outside. I would get a dog. I would prefer to get a dog, but I would get a dog only when I move somewhere that actually has a place that the dog could go enjoy itself outside. Yeah, I don't believe in leaving especially the big dogs. Like my neighbors right now have 2 German Shepherds, and they're inside most of the day, and they take them out for like a walk in the morning and at night, and that's all the outside that they get. And they need more than that. They really do.
Very cool. Very cool. So.
Oh, Adrian's on.
Oh, do you
I said Adrian's on.
Do you know that person?
What?
You know?
Yeah.
Whoa.
Yeah.
Okay. Very cool.
He runs my fan server.
Oh my god, that's awesome. So, what made you decide to start your own fan server?
I actually, I ended up getting this server deal through this website, and it looked all really shady. That you didn't think you'd be getting a good server, but it was $35 for a year to get your own virtual server. So I was like, you know what? For $35, I got to give this thing a shot, because they claim one of the big things they said it can run is Minecraft.
Yeah.
I was like, I'll run a Minecraft server just to have something to run like PvP events or, a calamity match or something like that. So one day I actually went to the Reddit and said, hey, anybody want to come and try to test out and see what the server load can handle? So like 30 people came on over to the server, and it ran smooth, and I was very impressed. I was like, oh, that's kind of crazy. So I think we played a game of like, Cube Control or something like that. And then I reset the server and logged off later that evening, not realizing that I didn't turn it off. It reset and spawned a new world. And a couple days later, I randomly went on it. I was going through my list, and I was like, oh, my server's on. And I went onto it, and there was just houses built everywhere. And I was like, what is going on with this place? A bunch of people who were there just stayed there and made it a server, wondering how long it was going to last for. So then I told them, I was like, yeah, whatever. I'll leave it up for a little while, until we need it for something else. And one day they were asked, can we just turn this into your fan server? And I was like, sure, why not? Like, I'm not doing much with it, so go for it for now. And actually, eventually that server died. It's back. It had gotten something happened with the company, and they had lost a bunch of their data files, so everything that was on there died. And Adrian actually transported it to a server of his own, so it actually doesn't even reside with me anymore. It's pretty nice though. Having a fan server that I don't even have to do any of the admin work with is awesome. But that's how it spawned. It spawned out of complete randomness. It was just I was testing out a PvP match, and I accidentally left it running and went back onto it. There were houses everywhere.
That's hilarious. Wow. Okay, that was not the answer I was expecting at all.
Yep, not planned. Definitely not planned.
So, right now, I'm going to ask Keybon to rejoin us in the call, and we'll be seeing if we can get some audience questions in.
Okay.
Okay, Keybon, if you can hear me. I don't know if...
Yep, I hear you. We have one guy who signed on, the admin of your fan server. I'm going to go ahead and add him to the call real quick. Alright, one sec. Alright. Oh, he did not accept the call for some reason.
Like instantly, right? He has some weird issues with his Skype sometimes. We had the same problem yesterday.
Let me try again. Oh,
It's like instant. It's like instantly denying, isn't it?
yeah, it is.
It's something with his Skype settings that are really messed up. Let me see if I pull him in. What happens? Nope, just says no answer.
Well, I'm sorry, Adrian.
Oh, there we go. Hey,
Oh, there he is.
There we go.
Hey.
always the same. Always the same mess with the Skype.
What's going on, Adrian?
Go ahead and
I'm
come
doing
down
fine.
onto stage.
On the stage.
Yes.
Make room on this couch.
So, what should I ask? How did you learn to program, like the Linux stuff, like writing scripts, JavaScript?
Computer engineering background. Computer engineering and masters in IT. I've programmed a lot of different languages in my lifetime. It's just a matter of getting back up to speed. Like Linux is something that we had Sun, like Oracle Sun Microsystems was a big part of my college, which is all, it's like Linux based. So I learned a lot of Linux from that. PHP and things like web design, I actually all learned on my own. I learned very basic Java, old school Java in my engineering classes. So I've learned all the other stuff as technologies come, like PHP completely I've learned on my own. And I'm pretty decent with PHP. But yeah, it all came from the computer engineering background.
Very cool. Do you have any
So
other questions?
then, do you plan to go to Minecraft 2014?
I plan
Like
on going
the-
to Minecon 2014. I definitely
it-
plan on being there.
Would it matter if it's like in China or in Europe?
I want to say no, but I can never plan that far ahead. My plan now is definitely to go despite what country it's in. Whether that's feasible or not, I don't know. I'll find out at the time.
Are you going to be flying Southwest?
Maybe not to China, because I don't know if they go over there.
Oh, that's true.
But I will be flying Southwest to most places, yes. Since right now I'm still flying for free.
I have no idea what else to ask.
I will also be trying to go to PAX East this year.
Oh.
Oh, nice.
Have you
And by
ever,
trying, I mean I plan on being there already. So
awesome. Have you ever been to PAX Prime?
yeah, I was at PAX Prime this last year.
Awesome.
First gaming convention I ever went to, PAX
Uh-huh.
Prime, and it was overwhelming to say the least. A lot of people there.
Uh-huh.
A lot of people. But that's the first time I got to meet a couple of the Mindcrackers that were there and everything, so that was cool.
Very awesome. So does that conclude your questions, Mr. Adrian?
I guess so. I mean, I can talk to him whenever I want. So.
I know.
So I think they said that there were some fan questions coming in.
Oh, there are fan questions.
How long have I been playing Minecraft? Since 2009? Maybe it was 2010. I started shortly after it went to beta. I was not playing it when it was alpha. I was playing it when it was beta, right when it turned beta. Favorite programming language? Probably lately is PHP, just because there's so much functionality that you can do with PHP in a website, which makes it very great. I'm not very good with programming stuff like, Minecraft is programmed in straight up Java, the newer version of Java than I learned on. So I don't know how to do as much stuff that's not web-based anymore. The downfall of PHP is that it's client-side, or excuse me, it's server-side as opposed to client-side. So it's not really a downfall. It's great in many, many ways, but it causes other issues that you still have to have a lot of JavaScript in mixed in your code in order to get things to function the way you want to.
Uh-huh.
For any computer people out there, they understand what I'm saying. Other people are like, what? Can you sit on the couch with me? That's up to the hosts, I guess.
As long as
do
no
I
one's
have a
else up here, I guess. Go on, Tim. Come on. Sit on the couch.
Do I have a special talent? I guess my talent would more be... I consider this a talent, which is actually, I guess, brings back to one of the other reasons I got into doing the whole YouTube thing is I worked at McDonald's for many, many, many years of my life, and especially in the drive-thru speaker, I would have people constantly tell me that I had a voice for radio. And then when they came up to the window, I would always be like, do I not have the face for TV as well? But they would, they'd tell me I have the voice for radio. So I actually got on my college radio station as well, because I feel my talent is, I have this loud, commanding, booming voice that I really like, but it's not really a talent. It's just a gift that I have. So other than that, other than talents, not really directly, but that's what I consider my talent.
Would you ever go into radio hosting?
You know, it depends. Radio hosting would be a lot of fun. People who do that as a career, most of them make so little money. It's only your real random big shots that make big bucks off of radio. I actually looked at going to Specs Howard School of Broadcasting for a little while, but I think the average disc jockey makes between $20,000 and $30,000 a year, which is very low for a career. So it's a lot of dedication to something that you don't know if you're going to really make enough money to succeed on. So I would love to do it. Once I get rich from the lotto, or when my my YouTube channel blows up that I don't need to worry about money anymore, I would love to look into doing that.
That'd be very awesome. What would you call your radio show?
We had the one that I did in college. It was we called it TMI. It was called Too Much Information, because it was very similar to what my YouTube videos are. And we talked, my co-host and we talked about things that people didn't think that we'd ever reveal about ourselves in a public forum, but we did. We didn't care. I was Jeff the Captain, and he was Mark the Asian, and yes, he was Asian. He named himself. It was not done racist. He would call himself the Asian. I'm Jeff the Captain because, can anybody guess why I was the captain?
You like to pirate things.
Anybody, you ever see the movie Waterboy?
Oh, yeah.
With Captain Insano? So because my last name is Jsano, people used to call me Captain Insano all the time. So I went with Jeff the Captain.
That's pretty awesome, actually. I loved Waterboy. That was a good movie.
If I was ever going to change my name from Jsano19, I would change it to Jeff the Captain.
Do we have any more questions for Jsano?
Hi, Tim.
Hi, Tim. Is that the stream catch up? Echo.
Yay! Yeah. He's trying to end the show early. He's like,
hey, Jsano, I actually have a question. For your previous UHC with all of Mindcrack, how intense was it for you?
Wait, the previous, all of them?
Yeah, pretty much. When you started until the last one.
So the very first one I did was probably the most intense. I've only ever done 3 successfully. The fourth one that I did, I had to drop out of because my internet connection had, Jsano internet that it became to be known as. The very first one I did, I was on a team with Good and Badge, and it was extremely intense. For one, being my first time that I'd ever played it. For 2, I think if I recall, it went on for 4.5 hours. So by the end, we were all so just groggy and tired, and then it culminated in some big fight scene that I made many stupid mistakes with, running around aimlessly, away from a power 4 bow and things like that. So it was extremely intense. The one that I did with Beef it wasn't nearly as intense. We had some weird run-ins. It wasn't intense with other people. We never ran into anybody else. We died both to environmental things, and it was intense because that was the right after 1.6 update, maybe, when there were baby zombies and things were a lot scarier than they were. So it was more just player versus environment intense. And the last one I did was, I was actually really relaxed and having a good time through that whole thing, with team all business. But I had Dinner Bone on my side and all that fun stuff. But you guys saw the end of all that. Even when I died, I was just laughing. Flames where's your health at? And I'm dead. I was just relaxed, having a good time, running away from the other team, and even saying maybe I can lure them over toward you, because I was just laid back, having a good time with it.
Do you think your UHC skills have improved drastically?
No.
No?
No. At all. I still, from the first season, one of the biggest complaints that I had was, Jeff, you had a water or a lava bucket on your bar. Why didn't you dump it? And what happened in this last one? I died again with a lava bucket on my bar that I easily could have dumped and possibly taken somebody out. But nope, didn't do it.
Another question I had was, would you play another Vex map, like a CTM map, after Infernal Mines?
I don't know the answer to that.
That was an intense series, man.
That was an intense series, but just some of the things in there were so. I mean, I think that Good and I lost a lot of viewers on that series, and I can't remember what that area is called, but in one specific area, because it was so hard that we could not get through it in any decent time frame. So people literally watched the same video almost 6 or 7 videos worth. It was the same video, even though we took the last one and extended it to like an hour long just to make sure we got done with it, because we knew people were getting sick of it, because we were sick of it. And I don't know if you could hear in our voices by the end of that thing, we were just like, this is ridiculous. Like, we're done with this for a while. Like, so, I don't know if he balanced it a little bit better. Maybe he liked that balance. I mean, Vex is the Map Maker. It was a great map, but it was so difficult to traverse through for us that, I don't know, Poison Spiders were, I mean, they're like a downfall, in my opinion, of what could be a good map, because when you're constantly sitting at half a heart or constantly dying because you're at half a heart, it makes it less fun to play.
I don't get how Z still made it in, like, what, 2 deaths?
I'm a little more straightforward with my play style. I'm not nearly as reserved, and also it's difficult, like when you're playing a map by yourself, a CTM, you can spend a lot of time off camera and easily cut that time out and just tell people, hey, this is what we did off camera, or this is what I did off camera to prepare, and cut out a lot of that stuff. When you're playing a co-op, it's really hard to run a series and air it together if you want to edit things in the middle, because it'd be like, okay, so edit this part and edit from this minute to this minute and take this out and take that out, you know, from the perspectives. So you don't do that nearly as much. So you kind of have to put it all out there as once. So you don't want to spend so much time preparing if somebody else is in battle, because you're just like, I'm going to sit here. My whole video will be me making a wheat farm. You go battle some things, you know? So it's difficult.
And I think Adrian had one more question.
Say somehow is it the one he put in the chat?
Yeah.
Well, how can I say this? Scary, horrible, and nerve-wracking. That would be the answers to that question. Wow. For those of you who don't know the answer to the question is, that's okay.
And it looks like Irk wants to know if you'll be in the next UHC, or if maybe you might sit that one out.
I hope so. The main problem with the next UHC, whenever it gets scheduled for, is going to be the fact that, you know, I'm changing jobs to where, you know, we plan them on, you know, mainly the weekend time frame, because that's when most people would be available. If I switch to a job that I don't have weekends off, it makes my ability to know, if I know far enough in advance, I can schedule it, but otherwise it's just going to be a luck of the draw if I have that day off.
And not to pick favorites or anything, but if you could choose a perfect 4-man team to be in, who would be in your team?
Probably I'd take Vintage Beef again, because I love Team No Beef. I thought we had good strategy going, so I would definitely take Vintage Beef on my team. Zisto, because he is not only strategic but also aggressive. Like, he's really good at balancing both of those out, in my opinion. And then Pause, because he just seems to be ridiculously like accurate with bow shots and PvP combat in general. He is like a beast at that stuff. So
that sounds pretty good.
That would be my team.
All right, and one last question, which I have to ask everybody. What are your thoughts on string theory and its implications about post-Renaissance existentialism?
oh man, we're gonna be here for another hour. So anyways, I think the concept of string theory I think is really cool. I don't know much about its scientific, backing and the evidence that they've actually had toward it, but I like the concept of string theory. Do you actually know what string theory is?
Oh yeah, that we're all made up of strings that are vibrating at different speeds, and
they're going like in and out so that they can actually turn themselves into like nothing and everything all at one time. Like the concept of it really cool. The actual understanding of it, none. I have none of it. I mean, if it can explain time travel in some way, because I'm a huge fan of the concept of time travel.
Oh, that'd be really cool. Maybe someday we'll have time machines. We can visit dinosaurs.
But the thing is, that's the concept that I'm really interested in. How do they work? Is it like Back to the Future style, where you spawn off different timelines, or is it like the Time Machine style, where there's?
I feel like you'd have to spawn off different timelines, because you don't want to change your timeline, because then how would you have gone to the past or future?
Well, but that's part of the thing that needs to be explained when that first guy time travels and the world explodes.
But how will we know if it explodes?
That's true. We would never know. Maybe I'm time traveling right now.
But so I think that concludes our interview with time traveling Jsano here, and so thank you very, very much for coming on.
Well, thank you guys for having me. Had a lot of fun.
Oh, we had a lot of fun having you too, Dr. Jess. And maybe we'll have you back on in the future once we have this more worked out, have like a everything perfected, because I don't know if you can tell, but we're still a little bit not rusty. What's the opposite of rusty?
Metal. New metal.
We are a little new metal right now.
New metal. Yeah.
And so we need to refine it. But thank you very much, and thank you for your volunteer work and everything, for just people in general. You're an awesome guy, awesome Mindcracker.
Well, thank you.
And so we'll see you next time.
Bye, everybody.
Bye.
All right, yeah. Thanks for hopping on. It was really an honor to interview you. But we do want to do one more thing, since it is the New Year's. We made some fireworks. So we go to throw some over here, so we can all just let it off.
Happy New Year. Sort of.
Oh, I love the fireworks. I like how they get stuck on the fence and then still try to go. That's funny.
Again, thanks for hopping on, and you're great.
Yeah, thank you guys. Appreciate it. I had a good time.
See you later.
See you guys.
All right, man.
Thanks.
Take it easy.